Hey guys, Mugogo Podcast here. My name is Dennis Maipa. Today I want to talk about millennials. That is my generation. Um, so, my question is, how do we view our present and our place in the society, our future, and what is there for us? We have so many challenges. We're a generation where has overlapped a lot of things. We have gone through, in Kenya, we've gone through multipartyism, the struggle for, democracy. We've gone through the technology, when technology started, social media, all this. We've gone through all that. And we are a generation that pretty much can define the future of the next generations that are coming up. And I want to point out a few issues, and we'll engage with each other what they mean to you and the rest of us. Marriage, like where do we place ourselves in marriage? If you look at it right now, in our generation, there's a very high degree of divorces, single parents, and all that. What is the cause of that? And how are we raising our children, those who have children? And most of us either have kids and are uncles, and some of us are probably grandparents also. So how do we live with that? And there's also another concern that we have, and most of us millennials, either you have lost one parent or both of your parents, and as we know, most of our parents are very hardworking, and they left inheritance, whether it's in the village or in town, whatever amount of inheritance they need. So I find a lot of millennials really struggling on what to do with their inheritance, because probably you have been left with property in the village, and you live in the city. You work in the city. You cannot live your life in the city and try and develop those properties. So you try to think of what to do with those properties. So inheritance has become a very thorny issue. So do you dispose them off with your siblings? Do you develop them? The other issue also is we have careers in the city, and we've built most of our lives in the city. And I've seen a trend nowadays, a lot of men going back to the village and building a house that probably you're gonna stay there for 2, 3, 4 times a year. Is it a sound investment, or do you have to wait until you're retired for you to develop in the village? So these are some of the questions, and these are some of the issues that we go through as millennials. And even in our careers, what is the ceiling in your career? How much is enough in terms of your earnings, your threshold when it comes to your career? How do you balance career and your personal sacrifice? So, because a lot of us, we just work, and forget about that there's a life after you're not young anymore. I mean, we're getting to that other phase. So how do we balance work and life? And the other topic I want to talk about is, how do we relate with each other? Because okay, they say that Gen Zs are the ones that are depressed, but we go through a lot of depression, especially as men, because we have our parents gave us a blueprint of, especially men. what a man should be, providing and all that. And we push ourselves to an extent where we tend to forget ourselves. So how do you be a provider, be successful, and at the same time, you know, not exhausting yourself to the point that you reach you see all the guys right now, frustrated and all that because life just passed them by. So how do we mitigate that? So I'll for this topic, I want input from millennials, and if you have anything to add up, you can put in the comments, and whenever we have this discussion at length, we can include such topics. The other thing also, before I forget, is about culture. So we we have been we have really adapted the Western culture, especially as millennials. We have really adapted the Western culture. Is it healthy? Is it backward to embrace your culture? You know, Kenya, we come from different tribes and different cultures, and we saw our parents kind of still exercising that culture. And exercising culture, when somebody says I'm cultural, there has been a norm that people think that either you're a witch or something like that, or which is not the case. I mean, look at it. During marriage, we get blessed culturally, but we're Christians. Is it a bad thing? So I feel like we need to embrace culture so that we can pass it on to our children, so that our Africanism doesn't fade away and we get sucked into this Western culture. I love the fact that most nowadays you find a lot of weddings. They are traditional. There's a lot of traditional aspects that are put in it. That's a good thing because it shows the next generation that we're still proud of our culture and we still embrace it. So that's one of the things that we need to, as millennials, we need to learn more before our parents or our grandparents, those who still have them. We need to ask more. We need to learn more about what our culture is all about. Let's teach our children our mother tongue. You find most of our kids don't even know Swahili, and Swahili is just a basic. It's one of the basic languages that are there. We just teach them English. Let's teach them our traditional languages so that they don't disappear. Because it starts from one generation to the other for a culture or a tradition to disappear. So that is my take. Like, I need us millennials to have a candid conversation of where we want to be and what we need to do in today's society and in this space, because we are the ones that are going to shape the next generation that's supposed to come. So that's my take for today, and that's my other topic that I feel like we need to be candid and discuss about it. So cheers, guys, and thank you for everything. Follow me and put on your suggestions, your comment, and pretty soon we're gonna start posting the podcast with a few guests, and these are the topics that I'm trying to bring guests that we can discuss and be well informed about. So thank you, guys. Cheers.